The action doesn't stop for the Kansas City Chiefs, as I was complaining about being videos and videos behind in production yesterday. The Kansas City Chiefs do two more things to make news. So here we are talking about the Kansas City Chiefs signing Bailey Zappe to the practice squad, and I will be back later tonight with a video about the Chiefs signing Marlon Tuipulotu to the practice squad. So it's good I didn't make that practice squad video yet. The video that I made yesterday is already obsolete. That player is no longer a Kansas City Chief. Apparently all it takes is one practice for a cornerback with 4.71 speed in Kansas City going up against Xavier Worthy, a wide receiver with 4.21 speed, before everyone kind of decides, well, that was fun, and maybe he will be back for the practice squad. It is yet to be seen, but I think that it is unlikely. The Kansas City Chiefs were the only team, apparently, to put in a waiver wire claim on him, as evidenced by the fact that, well, they were able to claim him, and they have the last spot on the waiver wire, so it suggests that maybe they were cutting him in order to move him to the practice squad. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know, because there has been so much movement thus far this preseason post 53-man roster announcement. But we are here to talk about Bailey Zappe, and the first question that should come up is, who? The 25-year-old quarterback out of Western Kentucky was drafted by the Patriots in 2022, round 4, pick 137. He stands 6 foot, 1/2 inch tall, of Drew Brees type stature, 215 pounds, 9 3/4 inch hands. He had a 4.88 40-yard dash. Not the most mobile quarterback. He has a 30-inch vertical, and he scored a 35 on the Wonderlic. That is a pretty good score, as evidenced by the fact Peyton Manning got a 28. Patrick Mahomes got a 24. However, it is not the be-all, end-all. It will not make you a great quarterback, as evidenced by the fact that Josh Allen scored a 37. Moving on, in 2022, he had a 2-0 record as a rookie stepping in for the Patriots, where he went 65 of 92 throws, a 70.7 completion percentage for 781 yards, a 5-3 touchdown to interception ratio, and he had a 100.9 rating and a 36.4 QBR. That 36.4 QBR, a little more stark than the 100.9 rating. The 100.9 rating basically means that he was playing fairly clean football. The QBR takes into account some other things. However, in 2023, last year, his sophomore campaign in the NFL, he went 2-4 for his record with those same Patriots. He went 127 of 212 attempts, a 59.9% completion percentage, 1,272 yards with a 6-9 touchdown to interception ratio, a 63.7 rating, and a 23.3 QBR. Not great numbers, and we'll get into a little bit of this in that number 3, the scouting report portion of this video. Sorry that I don't have all of the notes on the screen for this video. Everything's taking me a little bit aback, but the Andy special is that number 2 question there, and I've been talking about the Andy special on this channel since I've had this channel. The Andy special is something that apparently stopped dead cold once he came to Kansas City. What is the Andy special? Well, Kevin Kolb was traded by the Andy Reid-led Philadelphia Eagles for Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, as well as a second-round pick. Second-round pick being the operative part there, but Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie was no schlub. That was in 2012. In 2010, Donovan McNabb was traded to Washington for a second-round pick. This was as the Eagles were moving on from McNabb to Michael Vick. In the, I don't have the season here, but A.J. Feely was traded to the Dolphins by the Eagles for a second-round pick as well. If the opportunity comes up during this season, Wentz might be traded. But I'll get to that in a moment. But the Andy Special isn't just a quarterback for a second-round pick. Much more than that. In 1999, Philadelphia traded Rodney Peete to Washington for a sixth-round pick and center John Romero. In 1999 as well, Bobby Hoying from the Eagles was traded to the Raiders for a sixth-round pick and John Frank, a defensive end. And then again in 2007, Kelly Holcomb was traded to the Vikings for a sixth-round pick. So Andy Reid knows how to trade quarterbacks for second and sixth-round picks. If Bailey Zappe is good this year, he's on the practice squad. You can't trade him from the practice squad. But it gives you two opportunities for trade here. Number one, the quarterback carousel will turn in the NFL. It's just a matter of fact. We've already seen J.J. McCarthy. I believe that was season-ending, right? The J.J. McCarthy injury was season-ending. That is one starting quarterback taken out of rotation already before Week 1 has even occurred. The argument could be made, but scrambling. What if Patrick Mahomes goes down? If Patrick Mahomes goes down for an extended period of time, I think we can all agree that the Chiefs' season is over anyway. I don't think Carson Wentz can win games. I'm just going to skip that because I don't want to think about it. But as the quarterback carousel turns this season, if Bailey Zappe is showing off as the practice squad quarterback, it is possible that Carson Wentz becomes a tradable asset. You can trade Carson Wentz, promote Bailey Zappe to the roster, and all of a sudden you still have your experienced quarterback that you need as a backup for Patrick Mahomes. Second, there's a real risk that Bailey Zappe could get snatched off of the practice squad. But if he lasts through this season, he could be in line to be the quarterback 2 of the future here in Kansas City. His addition to the practice squad proves that Chris Oladokun is gone. Why is Chris Oladokun gone? Why have the Kansas City Chiefs gotten rid of their young, inexperienced backup quarterbacks in the past? If you don't offer any trade value to the Kansas City Chiefs, or you're not an experienced veteran that they know what they can expect to have from, they're not interested for more than just a couple seasons, and that makes sense, right? You know pretty quick, I guess, in the NFL if someone is a starting capable quarterback, and it seems that Chris Oladokun never made that step. So it allows if Bailey Zappe does become the backup quarterback next year, that the Kansas City Chiefs could get trade value out of him. If he is the backup quarterback next season, promoted from the practice squad this year, he will have opportunities in the preseason to show out. So moving on to the scouting report, is there anything of value with Bailey Zappe? Yes, I really do believe that there is. Look, Bailey Zappe, first and foremost, is a scrapper. That is something that is almost necessary for a backup quarterback in the NFL. You don't have the glitz and the glamour of the starter. You're not the guy that has all of the tools. You're 6'1.5 inches tall. You have a 4.88 40-yard dash. You have to be scrappy. And he is. He reminds me a little bit of Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, he's got decent arm strength, not great. He has zip on short throws, not deep throws. He has good accuracy. Sometimes that wavers a bit in placement, I would say, but he's getting it to the right guy. If you can keep him clean, he can keep you moving. He's not dealing well with pressure, but if you can keep him clean, he can run the offense and march you down the field. If the offense, he throws a pretty ball, by the way, if you haven't seen him play. If the offense has some semblance of structure, he can manage it. He's someone that is, as that 35 Wonderlic score would suggest, a cerebral quarterback. But he's good at executing, not creating. If there's a game plan, he can follow it. He gets in trouble if he has to create, and that includes having to escape the pocket. He's not immobile. That 4.88 40-yard dash is not terrible for a quarterback. It's just not good. He is mobile. He's just not good at scrambling, and if he's going to be out of the pocket, he has to take the time to reset his feet. Otherwise, his throws are wayward, and that's not a good thing. The number 4 deal here, what's best? So with that scouting report, I think that the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid can rehabilitate Bailey Zappe, which leads into number 4, what's best for Bailey. A year with Andy Reid might be what's best for Bailey Zappe. He is a talented quarterback. He is a scrapper. He is capable. But last season, things sort of fell apart for him. He lost his composure. He developed bad habits. It seemed that he lost his confidence and was trying to moxie up the ego to march down the field, and it just didn't work for him. Andy Reid can fix that. We have seen several backup quarterbacks in Kansas City that seemingly had different issues, that seemingly were not able to be, quote, Andy Reid can rehabilitate a good quarterback. Taking a guy that is not an NFL quarterback and making him an NFL quarterback is very difficult, right? So Kevin Kolb, maybe AJ Feely. AJ Feely was a little bit different than this guy, than Bailey Zappe, but I think Kevin Kolb is a good comparison for Bailey Zappe, and what Andy Reid was able to do with Kevin Kolb, turn him into a guy that looked very sharp, was traded for a second round pick, and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie was able to trade him for that and get, look, that's value. For Kevin Kolb never really went on to do very much. He reminds me of Bailey Zappe in that regard, that he's the type of quarterback with the type of tools, if memory serves me correctly, that Kevin Kolb had. Finally, the number 5 point here, a lot of movement. The Kansas City Chiefs have made a flurry of moves already in light of announcing their 53-man roster. Now, there's going to be some waves of things going on when everybody in the league has to make all these cuts basically at the same time. You try to reclaim all your guys, and then you see what's still out there. You have the waiver wire, but if you put in a waiver claim, he has to go on the 53, and it just becomes a cascading effect. I think it's going to calm down, but I am not positive that there aren't a couple more moves to be made. I'm not positive that the Kansas City Chiefs are done with the defensive line. I'm not positive that the 27-23 ratio of offensive to defensive players on the 53-man active roster is going to stand. But I don't know how they get away from that unless it's by... It might be by... I don't know what Clyde's going to do. We haven't heard from Clyde. We haven't seen Clyde really in the preseason. I think that he is kind of being kept on as a sure thing, right? You know what you have in Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but do you know what you have in Clyde Edwards-Helaire if you're not sure that you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Whatever it is that he's working through, I'm not being insensitive to that, but you also can't be insensitive to the other 52 guys on the team, as well as everyone in the organization if you are Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Hopefully he shows up and is ready to go week 1, but then I don't know exactly. I think there's going to be more movement is basically what I'm saying. I will be back later tonight with a video on Marlon Tuipulotu signing with the Kansas City Chiefs. If you like or appreciate this sort of thing, hitting a like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Kansas City Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, Chiefs news, analysis, and opinion every day of the week, so consider hitting the subscribe button to stick around for more Kansas City Chiefs-based content, and as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.